That's how they won that game.
That was
It
opening
wasn't
day, I believe,
about
right?
launch
Yeah.
angle. It wasn't about exit velo. It was about putting the ball in play. He found a pitch, he could square up, and he chopped it to the right side. That's the old school baseball Giants fans want. Old
Hmm.
National League before the DH style baseball.
6 games in, there's been a lot of very pleasant surprises for this Giants team in this young 2025 season. I don't think any of the surprises, though, have been as fun as the start of Wilmer Flores' 2025 campaign. After dealing with injuries all last year, he looks about as back to 2023 form as anyone could have hoped.
What about Camilo Doval? I feel like he's had a resurgence as well, no?
It's been a lot of resurgences early on here for the Giants, and that's why I feel like you're seeing all these bounce backs here to start the season. Robbie Ray's looked really good in his first start
Yes.
too. Until that one moment, we can get to that in a second though. But then that's kind of the thing I want to ask for this episode. Is again, it's 6 games in. I don't want to make any wild proclamations about where this team can go because again, it is still just 6 games against the Reds and the Astros. But at the same time, we've been saying it all week. You said it this morning. There's something that feels different about how this team is doing it. So the simple question I have for you, Shasky, is the start to this season makes you excited for what?
For my love of Giants baseball to be rekindled again. I feel like the flame was not burnt out completely, but it was dying out. There's no doubt about it. And I love baseball. I got a glove in my hand right now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always on a diamond. I've been on the diamond 4 times this week since Monday. Today's Thursday, just to give you an idea. So I love the sport and I love my Giants, and it's a connection between me and my family. I'm going to take my son to his first opening day. If you're listening to this on Thursday, I'm taking him tomorrow. If you're listening
Yeah.
this Friday, I'm taking him today to opening day. It's a family ritual. And the bond that I share with the team is forged through my dad and my grandfather's love as well. And so I felt like I was really angry at the team for the last couple of years. And the great defense, the
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice bunts, the sack flies, the unbelievable speed on the bases, throwing strikes, just playing a brand of baseball that I just absolutely love. It's the brand of baseball I grew up with, and the hallmark of the 2010, 2012, 2014 Giants was pretty simple: pitch, play great defense, and get timely hitting. And that's what I feel like I'm watching again. I'm not saying we're winning a title. I'm just
No,
saying the brand of baseball is a brand of baseball that I just truly enjoy.
no, you hit the nail on the head, and I'm excited for the Giants to be cool again. Like I really am. Like the Giants were such a proud team to be a fan of once upon a time, not
Yes.
just 10 short years ago. And based on what we're seeing right now, it's and I said it the other day on the show, it's the return of the ground attack. That's what I love seeing here. And Giants baseball is something that you've hit on a lot. There's a way this game has to be played for the Giants. There's a brand of baseball that Giants fans expect. We're
Mm,
very picky in the kind of baseball that we like.
I
In the
agree.
last 6 years, they gravitated away from that. And you know, you mentioned how it was frustrating being a fan. It was frustrating for me too because you know when the Giants brought in the last regime, it felt like they were acknowledging that a way that they were doing wasn't working and they needed to adapt to a new era. And I was on board with that. I trusted that ownership knew what right moves to make there. And I remember after the 2021 season going into 2022, there should have been a huge fever around the Giants after winning 107 games, winning the division like they did. And it just didn't feel that way because that 2021 team, as fun as it was, there was a lack of sustainability that you could see there. There was just late game heroics that you knew were not going to be repeated the next season after that. And so now what you got right here is a team it's winning. They're winning in more sustainable ways. Like the process of which they're winning games. They're working counts. They're taking that extra base. They're making smart pitches. The bullpen is executing. It's just sustainable Giants baseball feels back. And that's a great reason to be excited for this team right now. Another great reason to be excited for this team, Shasky, it's the start of Heliot Ramos. Wilmer Flores has obviously made the headlines with his big home runs here to start the season. But Ramos was the Giants all-star last year. He's the starting left fielder. He is the next great hope to end the long curse of opening day left fielders. He looks about as good of a bet to break that curse as any. 6 extra base hits in 6 games so far. What is not to love about Heliot Ramos right now?
I love his two strike approach. Look, he is striking out a lot. I think
Yeah.
11 strikeouts in whatever, 26, 27, at bats, official at bats. I love his two-strike approach, even though he is striking out a lot, hitting the ball all over the place, playing great defense.
Yeah.
Quietly, some great,
Quietly very athletic. Yes.
very good. Scrappier on the base path than I thought in terms of speed and instincts. He's primed for a big season. And big season, like if he bats 265, hypothetically, 30 plus jacks, 85 plus RBIs, Giants fans will be doing cartwheels, wouldn't they?
I mean, you mentioned the magic number right there, 30. It has been so long. You have to go back to Barry Bonds in 2004, or if you really want to get difficult, you got to go back to, I think it was Jeff Kent in 2002 to find the last non-Barry Bonds guy to do it.
Wow.
It has been forever since the Giants have had a 30 home run guy, and Ramos looks poised to it. There was a time last year, Shasky, when he was called up from May all the way into mid-August where he hit a bit of a slump there. He was homering at a greater rate than Teoscar Hernandez, who was the leader amongst outfielders for home runs. He was in the home run derby. He was in the All-Star game. Like, he was outpacing him at home run wise. And if Ramos had appeared, on this roster on opening day last year, he probably could have challenged, that 30 home run barrier. He looks absolutely primed to do it now. He is doing, you mentioned the speed. He is doing it there. Monday, he helped set up the first run of the game against the Astros when he got on base, stole second right away. Wilmer Flores was able to knock him in with that 2-out knock. He is looking, as I've always said, you need to have a homegrown face of the franchise. Is it going to be Bryce Eldridge? Is it going to be Logan Webb? Right now, Heliot Ramos is atop the power rankings to be that face of the franchise. And so the question I have for you, you're seeing guys get locked up this week. Jackson Merrill, 9 years, $135 million. Ketel Marte, 6 years, $116 million. The Red Sox just inked Christian Campbell, who has played a whole one game at the big league level, to an 8-year, $60 million deal. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe I'm not. I'm going to throw the question at you anyway. Would you want to see the Giants maybe get ahead of the game here and lock Heliot Ramos up sooner rather than later?
Look, I think the easy answer is yes, spend the money.
Yeah.
But, let's see how this goes. Like, okay, let's hypothetically. Let's say you wait till May or June for him to really bust out, and he's at 18, 19, 20 home runs by, let's just say, mid-June.
Yeah.
I feel much more comfortable giving him a 6, 7, 8-year deal, right? And
Yeah.
I think it starts at 5 or 6 to eat out the years of arbitration.
He's 25 years old right now, just for reference.
But even if it costs you an extra 20 or 30 million on the life of the deal, not per year, on the life of the deal, isn't it like worth it to wait a little? That's all. Just wait a little.
Yeah, and you know me, I'm all about a big sample size here. And why I feel confident about Heliot Ramos, it's not just that he had a significant sample size last year, leading into an All-Star appearance that he absolutely deserved. That was not a Mickey Mouse. Let's just throw throw the Giants a ball. He earned his spot onto that team, not just as a fill-in, but as a legit, you deserve to be their guy. He faded a little bit in August, but then he bounced back in September. And that's always, when it comes to young hitters, when they get off to a great start, it's great. You love to see that. But we all know the league will adjust to you. The book will get out. Oh, if you throw to him here, you could beat him that way. So the league adjusts. And what I always determine what makes a great player, it's not the start they have. It's how do you adjust to the adjustment. And what I saw from Ramos last year in September and here to start the season is a guy who adjusted to the adjustment that was made to him. And you started right off the bat, game 1 of the season against Hunter Green. He has that incredible 11 pitch at bat. Green's just firing fastballs inside. He eventually, works the 2-strike count, gets the hands inside the zone and goes opposite field with an incredibly impressive home run against a very good pitcher. I mean, Heliot Ramos is a kid right now who just looks so confident at the plate. And it really gives me hope that he will be that guy this year.
And I think signing Willie Adames, re-signing Matt Chapman, adding Fitzgerald to play second base, Jung-Hoo Lee coming back after the injury, he's really flying under the radar in terms of scrutiny and pressure, and I think that's a really good thing.
Ramos has?
Yes.
Yeah, no, because, again, we're talking about him being face of the franchise, but, yeah, Lee was the guy, Lee, Adames, those guys, Chapman, there was a big spotlight on those guys. And they're getting, and that's fine. And again, Ramos going to start getting more and more headlines.
I agree.
As he keeps hitting this way. And you know what? We kind of been stressing over who's been hitting in the leadoff spot. They've been having Ramos hitting the leadoff spot against lefties. I'm kind of on board with it.
I am too.
It's, again, Lamont Wade Jr., we've had enough conversations about that. I don't want to go down that road.
He's been great defensively. I think Ramos, to me, the thing I'm really surprised with is he gets great jumps on the ball. He's made multiple diving catches. He's a really good defensive outfielder.
Speaking of very good defensive outfielders, Jung-Hoo Lee, how are you feeling about his start to the season? Because again, a lot of eyes are on him. I've been very impressed with his defense so far. We'll see how it goes when he gets back in Oracle Park and he has to play in front of that dreaded wall again. But again, Lee's another guy. Really like the approach. He had a game, I think it was the Sunday game against the Reds. It was a 1-1 pitch. He went the opposite way on. He was able to get inside and go the other way. The way he uses all sides of the field there. He's another guy, like, I was a little bit worried that he might have a bit of a slow start to the season just as he kind of gets reacclimated to the big league life. I'm not really that worried anymore.
He's better than the box score. He's speedy. He's making things happen. I think he's putting pressure on the infield, pressure on pitchers. He's looked way better defensively in center field, just in general.
Yeah.
I actually really like where he's at right now. I've been very pleasantly surprised. This is the Jung-Hoo Lee I was hoping I was getting last year.
Yeah, when's the last? I mean, again, we want to see him in the leadoff spot, I think, at some point, but it's working right now in the 3-hole.
Yeah.
And honestly, what's really working well is the Lee-Chapman duo in that 3-4 spot there. I think Lee's a great candidate to get on base a lot of times, make sure that Chapman's coming up with a guy on base, which is just going to be great for him. And again, that just plays into the small ball that we're seeing here. We had Dave Fleming join us on the Morning Roast this morning here. You can catch the full interview on the Odyssey app. But here's what he had to say about the Giants' ground attack and the havoc that it's causing for pitchers.
You can feel the pressure on the other team. You can feel it. You watch the games, whether you're there like I am sitting in front of it or whether you're at home watching like you guys this last week. You feel the pressure that puts on an opponent. You do. It changes the way the pitcher is approaching the hitter. It changes the stuff the pitcher's thinking about. I thought yesterday in the early innings, Framber Valdez, the Giants were sending runners. And he, maybe it didn't, I can't remember if they officially got a steal or not yesterday. They may not have even gotten credit for a steal yesterday. Those guys were ready to go, and a couple of those damage hits happened when a runner was in motion. And I do believe that part of it was making him think about something else and not full concentration on the pitch he was making, and they took advantage of it.
The stolen base that Dave is referencing is the Mike Yastrzemski stolen base in the second inning that definitely had Framber thrown off. And Framber Valdez, very good pitcher here. And I think you mentioned this morning, he could be on the trade block. That's got to kind of keep an eye on as the season goes along. But in regards to the small ball ground attack, like we mentioned, the Giants fans like a particular form of baseball. Like, this is the form of baseball that Giants fans have grown to love. Power ball, which is, what the last regime, I think, was trying to go for. And I get it. Home runs were a massive craze starting in 2018. Launch angle, juice balls, all that stuff. The Giants were maybe a little late to the party and trying to become a home run-centric team. They were in 2021. But in this ballpark, that way of thinking is just not going to lead to winning baseball games. And the Giants just accepted, they got to go back to playing to the strengths of the ballpark. And that is the small ball ground attack.
And I think one of the great things about, playing in Cincinnati and playing in Houston, those are hitter-friendly parks. Mm-hmm. And they generated runs in non-hitter-friendly ways, meaning sacrifices, bunts, using the speed element, not just relying on the home run.
No, and that is perfect what you said there. Is outside of maybe game 2 on Saturday, I don't see them fishing for home runs up there. It seemed like over the last couple of years, you see guys go up and they're just trying to just go deep, just crank it as hard as they can. And the situational hitting this year has been so improved. Like, you listen to when Gabe Kapler is the manager of this team, he would describe the situational hitting philosophy a lot. And it's just a mess. It boiled down to there's a spot in the zone that you dominate. Wait for a pitch in that zone. It was, you say it to your little leaguers, I'm sure, wait for your pitch. That was wait for your pitch, but on steroids. And there's a massive flaw in that plan. And here you're seeing guys adjust their zone, widen their zone when they need to, find different spots to attack. That is the kind of baseball that Giants want to see.
The art of hitting is not wait for your pitch. Mm-hmm. The art of hitting is not, tee off on one particular thing and swing one way every time. He's not even waiting for a strike. The art of hitting is if you can barrel it up, barrel it up. Meaning anything, whether it's a half an inch off, whatever you're waiting for, looking for, you think you can barrel it up, barrel it up. There was a great at-bat by Matt Chapman early on this season, and everyone likes exit velo. He hit a little chopper in between second and first, and it got Jung-Hoo Lee to go from first to third. That's
Yes.
how they won that game.
Those
It
opening
wasn't
day, I believe,
about
right?
launch
Yeah.
angle. It wasn't about exit velo. It was about putting the ball in play. He found a pitch he could square up, and he chopped it to the right side. That's the old school baseball Giants fans want. Old
Mm-hmm.
National League before the DH style baseball. Yeah, we want to see the long ball. Yeah, we want to see gappers and driving runs in that way, like Adames did yesterday with a rip down the line. We also want to see you generate runs the old fashioned way with
Yeah.
small ball.
And the home runs will come eventually if you play that way.
Exactly.
Again, even those, World Series championship teams, I mean, 2012 aside, those teams were able to hit home runs when they needed to. And that's just what good situational hitting is. All this time spending on the hitting checks, we want to take these last few minutes here to focus on the pitching here.
Give it to me.
Basically one-ish turn through the rotation. Logan Webb's gone twice here. Solid opening day start for Webb. A much better second start that he had on Tuesday night. So the changeup looked a little bit better for him on Tuesday, but off the rip here, that's the thing for Logan Webb. Can he get command of that changeup here? It was a battle for him last year, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Justin Verlander, though, went in game 2. Now, I was doing our Freedman's broadcast with Mark Grandy during that game, so I didn't really get a chance to lock in on that one as much as I wanted to. Did you get a chance to lock in on that one? What were your opening thoughts on Verlander?
Verlander's the second best pitcher in this rotation.
Already,
if he pitched just like he did the other day. Now, Robbie Ray was excellent till the pitch clock got in his dome, but I thought Verlander was excellent. He showed what an old gunslinger looks like, peppering the zone, reaching back when he needs to, and adding a velo, a tick mile per hour here, mile per hour there. The art of pitching is hitting your spots, keeping people off balance, and I thought he did a great job of that. If he pitches a little bit like that 15, 20 times a year, Giants they're sitting pretty. They're sitting pretty.
Again, I've always said if he could just do what Randy Johnson did in 2009, which is like a 4-some ERA and over 100 innings, I would take that. I kind of feel like he can absolutely hit that level if that's the tone he's going to be setting here. So again, it's a long season. We'll see how he goes. But the Giants were kicking around. Do you go Verlander, Scherzer? They went with Verlander, and with Scherzer already dealing with a lat issue, that feels like an absolute home run of a move. That's probably not the right word to use when describing a great pitching decision.
A strikeout of a move.
A strikeout. See, that's what feels weird. I know. It's a great fastball of them. I know. They made the right decision. Let's go with that. But yeah, the Robbie Ray thing, that was a weird start on Sunday. He looked like a Cy Young winner, and then the pitch clock just absolutely derailed him there. I'm not going to...
Goes to show you that the game is ultra mental. Confidence,
really is.
mental, rhythm, mechanics, balance. Camilo Doval had the same thing happen to him the last couple of years. The pitch clock got into his dome.
Yeah, with Dovall, it kind of made sense because it was, again, he's a younger pitcher. He's still with Robbie Ray. I mean, you're a veteran. Like you're 33 years old. You've been in this game for a while. You have a sign. Again, I'm not trying to crush Robbie Ray.
Yeah, but last year was the first year of the pitch clock, right? Correct?
It was 2
years ago.
Yeah,
he had Tommy John. He hasn't pitched a lot.
That is true.
He hasn't pitched a lot. So, pitching on the side isn't the same as pitching in the game.
No, that's a good point. Again, on a scale of 1 to 10, my concern level at that is like a soft 2. So I'm not going to, but again, it was just very jarring to see that happen right off the bat. Jordan Hicks, great first start.
He looked awesome.
The thing with Jordan Hicks, again, he's going to be very good for the first couple months of the year. So he made it 98
No, he looked
innings.
dynamic.
He made it 98 innings into the season last year before they eventually moved him to the starting to the bullpen. The first 76 innings of his season, though, he had a 2.82 ERA, and that was all the way into June. And then the last 5 starts, he just absolutely imploded, had an 8.18 ERA over 5 starts before they moved him to the bullpen. So if I put the over-under at 100 innings of effective starter work, you feel the over there.
Over.
Yeah. I think just having a full off-season program, I think is going to be helpful for Hicks. I think we all kind of knew that Hicks would fade midway through the year last year because it's incredibly difficult to make that leap from reliever to starter, especially with how he throws. And I think he got to a bit of a late start in prepping last year, ran out of gas. Which, again, we expected. This year, he looks stronger, looks more dialed in. The chicken and rice is clearly getting the job done for him. No, I think Hicks, again, if he could keep this up going all the way into July and into August, I mean, heck, could even be in the rotation all season long. One start in it, it's feeling like that's very much a possibility.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I thought he was spectacular. But the starting pitch has been great. Don't get me wrong. Logan Rebs was great in both games. I've been good, I would say, in both games. to me, the biggest development is the bullpen.
Yes.
Randy Rodriguez is a player. Eric Miller is a player. These are two guys you and I identified last year as really solid contributors.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Bivens, obviously, it's wait and see. I don't love Hayden Birdsong out of the bullpen. I want to see him start, but Landon Roop was okay. I think the biggest development for this team isn't Rogers, and it isn't even Ryan Walker. It's Camilo Doval.
Yeah.
Having not one, but two different guys with such different repertoires being able to close out games is a weapon very few teams have. If you want to win 80 to 85 games, you're going to have to close 65, 75 of them. It's not like this is going to be some potent, we're going to outscore you by 7, 8 runs team. They're going to be in tight ball games. And if you're telling me that Ryan Walker and Camilo Doval can be contributors on the back end of that bullpen, and I can pick and choose, and I don't have to pitch any one of them more than 2 days in a row, who has that in baseball?
No, honestly, the Giants have a bullpen that can make games 5 innings long because you got Eric Miller, who he can get both righties and lefties out. He's effective from both sides, and he slings it with some actual heat, too.
I like him.
Then you got, again, the 7th inning, whether it's going to be Walker or Doval. Personally, I honestly think that Doval will have the 9th inning against it very, very soon, and that's nothing against Ryan Walker. Walker's great. I just think Doval's just got slightly better closer stuff. But whether it's Walker or Doval in the 7th inning, then you go to Tyler Rogers in the 8th. Going from Doval to Rogers or Walker to Rogers in back-to-back innings, where you're seeing the ball come out, it's coming from all over the place. That is going to make it incredibly difficult for hitters to get adjusted there.
Great call.
And then again, whoever you don't go in the 7th, that's who's shutting the door in the 9th.
Yep.
And Ryan Walker, again, when he first came up here, I identified Ryan Walker right away.
Yeah, you loved him. You've always loved him.
He is incredible. Like, at first, I thought he's more of a deception guy because he's got that crossfire delivery. But no, he's got some gas on that sinker as well. And so when you got deception plus gas, I mean, it's an incredible 1-2 punch that gives this bullpen so much depth. Spencer Bivens, again, not a great start to the year. He did take a ball off his hand. I don't know.
Let me give you one more.
Yeah, one more.
I got to give Bob Melvin credit. He's pulled all the right levers for the most part in the bullpen. I know Bivens the other day, everyone was losing their minds. It's going to happen. I love for Camilo's first save against Cincinnati. You had Huff, who started the game. He went to Bailey in the 9th inning as a defensive replacement.
Yes.
You got to have that battery. I thought that was a very savvy, under the radar, shrewd move by an old catcher himself in Bob Melvin. I feel like Bob's on it this year. He's had a sack bunt. He's had guys stealing. They've gone 1st and 3rd. I saw 1 hit and run already this year. I think Bob deserves a lot of credit.
Oh, it feels like the shackles are off for Bob Melvin right now, and he can manage to seem like he wants to. How, like Dave Fleming said all the time last year, it's a more fiery Bob Melvin this year.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these pregame sessions we had with Bob, like, he seemed kind of tense. He was kind of like Bob Melvin looks like a very approachable guy, but there is a tenseness that he has that makes him very intimidating. And I think, having to manage under the constraints that he had last year really pissed him off. And he could be Bob Melvin this year. And again, the only nitpicks I really have is, the way things created with Robbie Ray. I thought he was a little slow getting the bullpen going there, but Robbie Ray also had a perfect game going. So what are you supposed to do there? And he was a little slow getting Bivens out
quick too.
Yeah. And Bivens, like, he took a ball off his hand and then things started going south there. So again,
I agree.
These are incredibly small nitpicks here for a guy who, coming into the season, Bob Melvin, I thought he was on a bit of a hot seat. I don't think that Buster came into the season committed to Bob Melvin beyond this year. And so it's going to be a thing to watch all season long because bullpen management, that is Bob Melvin's thing. When you ask A's fans or Padres fans about Bob Melvin, the first thing they complain about is bullpen management. So we'll see how that goes throughout the year.
Sam.
But when you got the options that he has right now, it's kind of hard to make a wrong choice right now.